Hey guys, it's Apron 220, and today I have a project for you that I want to share. I've decided to make this gravel company operational, at least the loader operational. Right now I'm actually finished with it. I'm just showing you it now. This is a little intro, and then we'll look back a bit, and I'll show you kind of some of the stuff I went through to make it. It's not exactly, I mean, if you want to call it a how-to, that's fine. There were a lot of things that I couldn't show just because I needed two hands and I don't have a tripod with me. But I show you, I think I show you pretty much each step and everything I do. I just don't show you like cutting the material or whatever, but you can figure that out. But hopefully this helps in some way. We'll go through each step, as I said, showing you how to do the door itself, how I've done the hinges, and you'll understand this more as you watch and go through this. But I think it's a pretty cool project. So now this loader actually works. You can see there's an apron there as well. So the car goes under, and then you load it using a string mechanism that I will explain later. But essentially they're just attached to these two tabs here, and you pull one in and push one, or pull one out and push one in, and it opens the doors and it swings open. So yeah, I think that's about it. As I said, there are some things that I don't show like cutting the plastic or whatever, but I go through each step, and I think I covered everything that went into this project, so you can apply it to anything you have. If it's this exact building, then that's great. If not, then you can apply the ideas to something you want to do. And not all these ideas are exactly mine alone. I looked at other diagrams and stuff. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you for checking this out, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Okay guys, sorry it's such a mess, but I'll show you what I've done now to make the flow even. You can see I have this divider here, so this can actually pop out, and I'll show you what it is. It doesn't look pretty either, but as long as it works, I'm fine with it. So let me get this out here. It's a snug fit too, so that's kind of a bonus. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. So you can see this piece here, really all it is just a bunch of random styrene that's been pieced together. And then you can see there's a slot there. And you think that slot would be too small to feed into this bay, but it's actually about the right size, because what I need to do, I'll go down to the layout and show you what's happening, but if we set this over here, the larger building is right here, and then I'll have kind of a bin here with the ballast, and it'll be fed in through here just by gravity. But the issue with that is that all of the ballast would flow into this bin. It would eventually even out if I had enough in there, but once the ballast level starts to go down, and you're kind of running on empty, you still want it to distribute evenly. So to fix that problem, I've created this little piece that slips in there. Sorry about that. It's easier with two hands, but alright, there. So then that piece slips in there. So now the ballast comes in, and then some of it's fed into here, and the rest slides down. So there's at least some in here for when there's not that much ballast. So when the bin's full, this piece wouldn't really matter, because this bin over here would be full as well. But when it starts to run out, then you have the issue of flow. So you want some of it to go into here and some into here. So I'll demonstrate that for you really quick and how it works. So just a second. Okay, so now I have my ballast here, and I'll show you how this works. So I'm just going to pour it in from this corner here, and you'll see it flow into the car. Oops. So I'll just pour a bunch in there. just to get it all in there. And you can see it's fairly even flow, which is good. And I don't have the mechanism that'll open and close open yet, so or up yet, so I can't really control how much is going into the car, so I'll just let it flow. But you can see here that slot is working as it should. It flows in enough, and then the rest goes into this bin, so there's not all the ballast flows into here. So this would be a scenario where there would be not that much ballast left in the bin, and you still want it to come out evenly. So that's my solution. Okay, so the next portion of making this operational is to create an apron, just in case there's a little spillage, which will happen. So I'll show you the hatch door really quick in a second. But these aprons, I've cut them to fit. I kind of wanted them to be the width and length of the braces here, but I didn't want them to be right behind the braces, if I can kind of get that idea. Like, I didn't want it like that, so what I did is I made them so you can angle them in. That way it's more of an apron, and these are still more 3D pieces, the braces are. So you can kind of see that there. And those will be painted. And I have the other one that goes on the other side in here. But then here is the door. It's not really pretty right now, but it will be painted. And I'll explain how this is all going to work in a second. But you can see I have the hatch door here. If I flip this over for you, let me get it the other way. So you can see there are the two holes in the bins, and those aren't pretty either, but I just want them to operate. They don't need to be square. You're not going to see them, and as long as they flow evenly, I'm fine with it. So the door piece actually will be this, and you can see I've kind of marked two blue spots where it'll cover the holes almost. So, and I'll explain what the string is in a second, but you can see that'll sit on there like that, and then it'll be opened and closed from a hinge, which will go through those little eye bolts. So to make those little eye bolts I have there, I just used some brass wire and then looped it around a piece of styrene. So that's just where it'll go. I'll kind of explain more how this works right now. So you can see I have these 0.06 of an inch or 1.5 sorry, 0.06 of an inch styrene round rods from Plastruct, and you can see it here. Actually, I have the piece here. This is the piece that'll actually be the hinge. So you can see I just used this rod. It's kind of small. And then when I was fitting the eye bolts here, all I did was I just looped the brass rod around the tube here, and then they fit perfectly. And I want it to be free swinging, so I want it to be kind of loose, but I also didn't want it to be too loose. I didn't want it to wobble around. So you can see it swings freely, and that's how those fit in there. And this hinge here will be mounted, if you can imagine, you have the rod here, which is kind of elevated. Sorry about this, I'm sorry. Kind of elevated from the actual door here. So this is the top of the door that'll be covering. This will be the bottom of the door. And this rod here will be mounted in this orientation, and it'll be right up along the edge there. That angle, it'll be right here. If you can imagine this being the door under the loader here, imagine it mounted like this under it, and then what we'll do, if I can set this down, what we'll do is have this wire here will run from this side of the door. If it'll focus, oh my gosh, sorry. It'll run from this side of the door, the non-hinged side, and it'll come back across itself like that, and there'll be an eye bolt in here. So it'll be mounted to here, come across, and then down this rod and under the table. So then when you pull a tab that'll be outside the table over here, you pull it, and that'll pull the wire, and then pull that door open, and it'll pull the cord across itself, like across the door. It'll pull it open, and then the counterweight to counter that action will also, you can see the second hole there, will have another cord, except it'll run along the other center pillar, and we'll have an eye bolt mounted higher than the door itself. So you can see it'll be higher than the actual chutes here. That way the weight is transferred through that, and it'll be actually pulling up on the door, and then we'll have the wire or the string running down through the table and have like a fishing weight under there, and that'll keep it shut. And then when you want to open it, you just pull that tab, and it'll pull against the counterweight and open it up. And then all you have to do is release the counterweight, and it should close. So that's kind of the idea. It's a little hard to understand me just explaining it, but once it's in place, I'll show it to you, and you'll probably understand it better. Okay guys, so I have the door up now, and I'll show you how I did that. Maybe this will make a little more sense. Oh wow, maybe this will make a little more sense now that I have it up a bit. But you can see, to mount it, I just had to take little strips of spare styrene. I don't remember what size this is, but it's just a kind of rectangular prism almost. I just cut a little strip and placed it right on the slope there, this edge. So there was somewhere to place the rod. So I did that on both bays, and you can see the rod and for the hinge is mounted right up against that. So that's solid now and not moving. Right there, you can see. And then also you see the door is finally mounted. So here's the string that controls it, and what it'll be mounted actually over on this wall, up on this center post here. And maybe you can see how it works now once it's mounted on there. We're like at an inverted view, obviously, so where my hand is actually under the table, but when you pull that, the door will swing open, and there will be a counterweight to shut it. And so it's working really well right now. See, it swings open, and the counterweight will shut it. So I don't have the counterweight rigged up right now, but I'll have it in a second. Okay guys, so now I have it rigged up. I have the counterweight side, and this is the actual like door opener here. So as you can see, if we'll look under here, sorry for the obstructions, but as you saw earlier, you can see like the mounting, how I mounted it. You have the main piece, which is the door, and you have the hinge there, which is made out of brass wire and a styrene rod, and then the rod is mounted to spare pieces of styrene, which are then attached to the bin. So you can see I also have an eye bolt. Focus, you can kind of see it, that brass thing up in the corner there where that wire is going to, way up in the corner, and that's the counterweight. So as you can see, if you're starting with the door, you follow the wire from the door, or the string from the door to the eye bolt, and then the weight is pulled down, which closes the door. So it's pulled through this wire or cord, and it closes the door shut. This, however, will be mounted, the string here will be mounted, this piece will be mounted to the center piece here, so it follows this column down. So right now it's not rigged up like that. I need to attach it, and I'll show you how to do that. But I just want to show you it operating, so let me zoom out here. So you have the counterweight here that if you pull this, closes it shut. Now I'll set the camera back. Now I'm going to pull this wire. You can see it opens it. Now pull the other string, and it shuts it. Oops. And the apron, as you can see, if I do it slowly, you can see if you're like opening it, it'll start to spray out the side there. So like if you're opening it slowly, it'll want to redirect it over there, but the apron will fix that problem, and I'll show you when we get that all up and ready. So okay guys, so now I'm going to make the apron. You've seen everything else, I think, as of now. You saw the stringing system and the operation, how it works. So I'll kind of do an overview at the end too, and as I said in the intro, there are a few things obviously I'm not showing the process of doing it, but as long as you look at like how I've done it, you can consider this video a how-to, so you can just look at the kind of like the shapes, because it's just the general concept that you can apply to any other loading facility. So here all I have is just a strip of styrene across the chutes, as you saw, and now I'll be making an apron also out of styrene. So what I'm doing now, I kind of want like this keystone shape kind of thing. So I'll have one side here that'll be angled in like this, if I can put that in there. Well, I'm not going to try to force it right now, but you can see over here I have this piece, and you can see how it's angled in there. I also want the ends to be angled in, so I have this weird trapezoid shape, and this is going to actually pinch in itself, so you can see there's space between there, and then I need to cut this triangle. So to do that, I will make my mark. So set the camera here, probably want it about right there, so I'm going to mark where I want to cut that, and then I'll cut from there to the corner. If I pull this out for you, this is hard to get into. So now you can see there's the mark. So now I will cut. So now we have our little half of our apron. So I'll continue doing this, and I'll show you it when it's painted. Okay guys, so now I have the apron installed. As you can see, I spray painted it. It doesn't match the color of the main structure, but I'm just gonna say I think like we actually used this, or here, let me start over. The color we used on the main structure, I think, was originally like this gray color, but then we rusted it up. So I used the same gray, flat, dark aircraft gray on the apron, and so I'm just going to say that they replaced it or something, so it's brand new, because it actually is brand new. And I'll probably leave it that color, or maybe I'll weather it later. So this, the loader is actually done itself, except for adding the detail parts. I had to take those off. So we're going to take it down to the layout and try to fit it up and get the mechanism working, like the tabs on the side of the layout. So let me go figure that out. Alright guys, so you can see I've got it down here on the layout. I've kind of installed it as of now. What I had to do though, as you can see, is the string runs along this center post on either side of the loader, so I had to drill a hole at the bottom of the base, because actually, if you see, if I can get around here, the string actually goes through the foot there. That little base piece doesn't go like outside of it, it goes into it. So there's a hole right under there, and it drops down beneath the table, and then it's rigged up so it works. And then here's the mechanism I'll have. This will be, I'm using just like these little bolt or screw things, but they work as like a tab. So this one, this is the, I decided to like scrap the counterweight design, and instead have, okay, sorry about that. What I was trying to say is that the left one here will close it, and then this one will open it, but in order to open the door you have to push this one in and pull this one out. So this acts as a lock almost. So like you pull it out to lock it, push it in, and then you pull this one to open the gates, and then it floods open. So right now it's not, I don't have the string attached right now, but I'll show it to you when I do. But really quick, let me show you that it works. So I'll set the camera like there. So right now I'm going to open it. So right now it's shut. You can see there's an empty car. And hold on. Well, that's empty. Just a second. Alright, so you can see the car there. Sorry, I just had to fill it with some ballast. Okay, so now I'm going to pull to open it. So there you go. You can see it's loading. And then I'll cut it off once the two mounds come to the peak. So you can see still loading. The right one's a little heavier, but alright, so there's the cutoff. That can turn on, off, off. And you can see there's a little bit of spray when I close it, but that's what the apron's supposed to keep it from doing. So there's a little bit that escapes, but that'll happen. So I'll just have to either clean that up, or I'll extend the apron just a bit to prevent that. So I'll figure that out, but that's how it works. It's pretty cool. Now you can also see what I'm going to do is create a bin in here. So I've got this scrap piece of styrene. What I'm going to do is create, as I said, a bin, and it'll be able to just drop right in there, and then feed into the loader here. So you can see the loader has a bit of ballast in it right now, but what will happen is I'll fill in this hole here where the light is, and drop a bin in there, and then all this will be ballast in here, and it'll all flow into here, so there'll be a little bit of reserve, and it won't just run out after 1 or 2 cars. But the other thing is also that I'm using 3-bay hoppers, and they're 4,000 cubic foot, so if I'm filling them all the way, that's a lot. And for aggregate, since they're so dense, you wouldn't fill them all the way. So what I'm planning to do is get some Diffco dump cars or 40-foot Ortner hoppers, and they have a shorter, an actual like shorter hopper area, and then they have 2 platforms on either end, and that's so they can carry heavier loads, but in kind of less space. So that'll make more sense for this loader, because the car will fit better under the loader, first of all, and then also I won't have to fill up as much, so that'll help. And that's some rolling stock that I plan to get. Okay guys, so I think that's about it. Sorry for that awkward break, but I'm pretty much finished. All I have to do is connect the wires to these 2 tabs, and then it should be completely operational using those. It still works, I just want to make it look a little cleaner by doing that. But other than that, it's completely done. You can see I did finish the little bin. I covered up that piece in there, and really this is just like a simple little contraption. All it is really just a piece of styrene that guides the gravel. So that's not exactly permanent, but it does the job. There's no leaks or anything. I just wanted something there to guide it into the bins. So I think that's it. I added some of the details too. As you can see, I actually extended the platform there, and then hooked the elevator back up. And I think that's it. So thank you for watching this video. Sorry it was so long, and I didn't really do a lot of like showing how I did it, but hopefully you at least get the idea, and you can apply this to a project you do. Maybe if you have something like this, maybe use some of the ideas here, because these weren't exactly my original ideas. I looked at other diagrams and how other people have done theirs, and I came up with this. So it works really well, very consistent, no leaks or anything, and opens and shuts perfectly. So again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.